This is the FREESKY 2000W electric bike, Swift Horse Pro, and the look alone tells you it's built to be ridden hard. The frame is chunky aluminum with clean, heavy-duty welds, a full suspension setup, and 26-inch wheels wrapped in 4-inch fat tires. It has that tall, tough mountain bike stance without feeling awkward. The finish on this blue-gray color looks better in person than the pictures showed, and the cable routing is tidy enough that nothing rubs or rattles. From my experience, the fit surprised me most. I'm 6 feet tall and about 265 pounds, and I usually need to swap stems or bars to get comfortable. Not here. Even though the frame is listed around 18 inches, the reach and bar height feel spot on. The saddle is actually comfortable out of the box, which I rarely say, and the stock handlebar sweep hits that sweet spot between control and comfort. I didn't have to tinker with cockpit parts to make it feel right, and for me, that's rare. Let's talk power, because that's the headline on this bike. The motor is a BAFANG rear hub unit rated at 1,000 watts nominal with a claimed peak up to 2,000 watts. In simple terms, nominal is what it can sustain for a long time, and peak is the short burst you get when you punch the throttle or the bike needs extra oomph on a hill. It's quick. On flat pavement, I've seen around 35 miles per hour, and on gravel trails it rips up climbs I used to grind up on my old 500-watt bike. A hub motor means the motor sits in the rear wheel, so there's no chain tension to worry about when you use the throttle. You still get a 7-speed gear setup, and shifting under pedal assist feels smooth enough for everyday riding. Key features that stand out to me are the big 48-volt 30Ah Samsung cells battery, full suspension, hydraulic disc brakes, and the integrated electronics. The battery works out to about 440 watt-hours of capacity, which is big for this class. That translates to range. The brand says up to 120 miles. In my opinion, that number depends a lot on how you ride, your weight, wind, and terrain. I've done long mixed rides using pedal assist levels 2 to 3 at cruising speeds between 18 and 22 miles per hour and ended around the 60 to 75 mile mark before I wanted to recharge. If I ride throttle heavy and keep the pace hot, I'm closer to 30 to 40 miles. Still, with sane riding, the range is excellent and eliminates most range anxiety. The full suspension takes the sting out of washboard gravel and broken pavement. The stock fork is a coil and oil unit with roughly 130 millimeters of travel, and the rear shock is short, so it's more of a comfort and control setup than a pure downhill rig. I did manage to bottom the rear shock when I landed heavy, which is expected at my weight and the speeds this bike can carry. Because of that, I'm planning upgrades. A longer air shock in the back so I can tune spring rate and rebound to my weight, and a beefier fork up front with more travel. The point is, the frame feels solid enough to be worth upgrading, and that's important if you want to push it harder off-road. Braking is hydraulic front and rear, and lever feel is predictable. Out of the box, the rotors are smaller than I prefer for a heavy, fast e-bike. I'm swapping the rear to 180 millimeters and the front to a 203 millimeter rotor to add more bite and manage heat on long descents. Stock brakes stop fine, but I want more margin when I'm loaded with a backpack or rolling fast downhill. If you're new to this, hydraulic brakes use fluid to move the pads, which gives you smoother power and less hand fatigue than cable brakes. The cockpit is simple and practical. It uses a thumb throttle on the left next to a horn button and a backlit LCD display in the center. I prefer a twist throttle because it feels more natural to me on long rides, and I plan to switch to a half twist while keeping the horn by using a splitter. A small quirk I noticed: the display looks dim until you toggle the headlight, then it brightens up. After that, it stays nice and readable in daylight. The headlight itself is bright enough to matter, rated around 800 lumens, and it's wired to the bike's battery, so no tiny USB lights to charge. On the smart side, I really like the NFC-enabled smart keys. Tap to unlock and power up is convenient when you're in and out of stores. For security, I do 2 things every time I get a new e-bike. I hide an AirTag under the bottle cage using a stealth mount so it's not obvious, and I register the bike with Project 529. That combo doesn't replace a good U-lock, but it gives me a fighting chance if the bike ever goes missing. Assembly was straightforward. Most of it is pre-assembled, and it comes with a decent toolkit, fenders, and a rear rack if you choose that configuration. I spent a relaxed hour getting it together and truing little details like brake caliper alignment. The written instructions are basic, but there are plenty of setup videos online, so even if you're new, you'll be fine. Just take your time and double-check bolt torque on the stem, axle nuts, and rotors. The ride feel is what matters to me. On road, it tracks stable and smooth, thanks to the fat tires and the longer wheelbase. Those 4-inch tires let you run lower pressure for comfort and grip on sand or snow, and they iron out chatter on chip seal. Off-road on mild single-track and fire roads, it's playful. The motor response is quick, and pedal assist ramps up without surging. Pedal assist means the bike adds power only when you're pedaling, which saves battery and feels more like riding a bicycle. Throttle on demand means you can ride without pedaling when you need a boost or just want to cruise. I use both, depending on the ride. Weight is the trade-off. At roughly 80 pounds, this isn't a bike you want to carry up flights of stairs or throw on flimsy racks. It's manageable to roll up a ramp, and the quick release on the front helps with transport, but you'll notice the heft. The upside is stability at speed and the confidence that comes with a solid frame. From my experience, the included contact points work. The grips are comfy, the shifter clicks cleanly, and I didn't feel the need to change pedals or cranks right away. I'm picky about bar shape and saddle, and I'm keeping both for now. I also appreciate small touches like internal wiring where it matters, and the clean integration of the headlight and controls. The rear rack and fenders are practical for commuting or wet rides. I like the look without fenders most days, but I'll probably install them for winter. It's perfect for riders who want big power and long range without getting into complicated mid-drive tuning. If you're a heavier rider, this bike doesn't flinch. If you live in a hilly area, the torque on tap makes steep climbs feel short. If you commute across town and hit gravel cut-throughs or beach paths on weekends, the combo of fat tires and suspension is a sweet spot. I'd recommend this for anyone who wants a fast or stable e-bike that's comfortable for long rides and has room to grow with upgrades. If you're chasing pure downhill lines every day, you'll still want a budget for suspension and rotor upgrades like I'm doing. For day-to-day riding, the stock setup gets the job done. On the numbers side, the max speed claim lines up with what I've seen. The range is realistic if you manage assist levels, and the 300-pound weight limit is reassuring. The warranty is solid at 18 months for the motor, battery, and controller, and 12 months for other parts. Shipping can be limited depending on where you live, so check your address before ordering. Price-wise, I picked mine up for about $1,750 after a coupon through the FREESKY site, and I felt good about the value given the battery size, the motor, and the suspension. Prices move around, so it's worth watching for deals. In my opinion, the FREESKY 2000W electric bike delivers on the basics that matter: strong motor, real range, comfortable chassis, and reliable braking. The small annoyances are easy to live with or fix: the thumb throttle swap, the display brightness quirk, and the rotor sizes. The big stuff, the frame quality, the battery, the motor system, feels right. In conclusion, this is a powerful, comfortable, and versatile e-bike that makes every ride feel easy and a little more fun. I'll post a follow-up video after I install the larger rotors, a longer rear air shock, and a beefier fork so I can show how the handling and stopping change with those upgrades. If you're on the fence, think about your rides. If you want long days, steep hills, and the ability to cruise fast with confidence, this bike is a strong choice. If you found this helpful, please subscribe for more real-world reviews and drop your questions or your own setup tips in the comments. Thank you for watching.